The void of space was quiet, too quiet. Star systems stretched endlessly, and the light of distant suns flickered like fading candles. Somewhere in this infinite darkness, a fleet of golden ships moved with precision, their surfaces gleaming as if carved from the sun itself. The beings inside called themselves gods. Their presence radiated power, and entire worlds trembled at the mere whisper of their names. Civilizations had risen and fallen before these entities, and now, the galaxy seemed ready to bow once more. On the command bridge of the lead ship, a figure floated in zero gravity, robes shimmering like liquid metal. They were tall, with glowing eyes that seemed to see into the hearts of anyone who dared look. "Prepare the energy arrays," they said, their voice calm but cold. "Humanity will kneel, as all others have." Their hand moved with elegant gestures, and holographic displays shifted to show a tiny blue dot, Earth. Meanwhile, in the Sol system, humans moved quietly in orbit, observing the approaching threat. Captain Elena Vargas stood on the bridge of the warship Sentinel, her hands gripping the railing tightly. Unlike the Golden Fleet, the human ship was practical, made for efficiency and deadly precision rather than beauty. "Sensors confirm massive energy signatures," said Lieutenant Cade, his voice tense. "We are outnumbered 50-1. Elena's eyes narrowed. "Then we do what we've always done. We fight." Her calm was not born of ignorance, it was born of centuries of humanity learning to survive against impossible odds. The Sentinel had been hidden for decades, a ghost in the system, waiting for the moment when it would be needed most. That moment had come. As the Golden Fleet closed in, their ships radiated an almost blinding light. Communications attempted to reach Earth, but all channels were blocked by an invisible force. "They're not just ships," Cade said, studying the scans. "These beings, their technology is unlike anything in the galaxy. They can manipulate energy, warp space, even control matter at a distance." Elena stared at the approaching fleet, a sense of cold determination settling in. "Then we show them what humanity is capable of." The first attack came without warning. A massive beam of golden energy shot from the lead godship, slicing through the asteroid belt that had been protecting Earth's outer colonies. Entire colonies vanished in an instant. Human ships scrambled, their weapons firing, but most were destroyed before even reaching effective range. The golden beings watched, almost with amusement, as humanity's defenses fell apart. Yet, the Sentinel remained. Hidden in a nearby nebula, its advanced cloaking systems prevented detection. Inside, the crew worked quickly, activating the ship's ancient but lethal weapon systems. The humans had designed this warship for one purpose: to survive a threat like this. Outside, the Golden Fleet slowed, sensing a disturbance. "There is an anomaly," the tallest of the so-called gods said. Their voice echoed in the minds of their fleet, commanding silence. "Find it." Elena's team worked in tense silence. Engineers, medics, and weapons officers moved with precise coordination. "Main cannon charged," Cade reported. "Ready on your mark, Captain." Elena closed her eyes for a brief second. Memories of Earth, of billions depending on them, and of countless failures against invaders flashed in her mind. Then she nodded. "Fire." A beam of energy unlike anything the gods had seen erupted from the Sentinel. It cut through space with surgical precision, striking the lead godship. Alarms blared across the Golden Fleet. Energy shields flickered, then failed. For the first time in millennia, one of the golden ships was vulnerable. The humans did not hesitate. Multiple volleys followed, each targeting the largest and most dangerous ships. The golden beings tried to retaliate, but their confidence faltered. They had never faced a weapon like this, a creation not just of technology but of human ingenuity and sheer determination. On the bridge of the lead godship, panic began to spread. "This cannot be," one cried. Their eyes widened in disbelief as the first of their mighty vessels disintegrated in a blinding flash. "The humans, they are strong," whispered another. Elena watched the chaos unfold on her monitors. She knew this was only the beginning. The gods had underestimated humanity, and that mistake would cost them dearly. Yet she also knew the battle ahead would be far from easy. The Golden Fleet was vast, and their power immense. The Sentinel might survive this initial strike, but Earth's fate hung in the balance. Outside, stars blurred as the human warship accelerated toward the enemy, weapons glowing and engines burning brighter than any human-made ship had ever done. The Golden Fleet braced itself, confident in its divine status, yet unaware that history was about to change forever. In the silence of space, a single thought resonated across the human crew: they were the underdogs, but they would not yield. And as the first salvo of humanity's wrath struck, one thing became clear: the so-called gods were not invincible. Humanity had returned, and their worship would shatter every illusion of divinity the golden beings had built for themselves. The Golden Fleet reeled from the sudden attack. Ships that had once glowed like stars themselves now burned in black smoke, drifting silently through the void. The so-called gods stared in disbelief at the destruction. Their centuries of invincibility had shattered in minutes. And yet, they were not defeated. Not yet. Captain Elena Vargas watched every movement from the Sentinel. Her hands moved with precision across the controls, coordinating attack patterns with the human ships that had survived the first wave. "We need to keep them off balance," she said. "Focus on their shields and propulsion systems. Make them react to us, not the other way around." Lieutenant Cade's fingers flew over the console. "Incoming fleet scouts, high speed. They're trying to flank us." Elena's eyes narrowed. "Prepare the flares. Draw them in closer. And remember, accuracy over brute force." The human ships, though fewer in number, moved like a deadly swarm. Cloaked and swift, they struck the edges of the Golden Fleet, then vanished before the gods could respond. Explosions erupted in golden light as ship after ship succumbed to humanity's precise strikes. On the bridge of the lead godship, panic began to spread. "They are using tactics like no other civilization," one of the golden beings shouted. "Impossible. They are primitive." Another god stepped forward, their glowing eyes burning with fury. "Primitives. Do not underestimate them. Increase the output of the main cannons. Destroy that human warship before it reaches us." But the Sentinel was no ordinary ship. Its hull shimmered with an adaptive energy that absorbed and redirected incoming fire. The humans had built it for one purpose: to survive impossible attacks and strike back with devastating force. Elena watched the enemy react to every maneuver. "Now," she commanded, and the Sentinel launched a series of high-speed drones, each carrying compact but powerful plasma warheads. They zipped through space like deadly insects, striking at the godship's engines and weapons arrays. The Golden Fleet shuddered. A massive ship exploded, sending fragments scattering into the void. Others faltered, their formations breaking apart. For the first time, fear entered the minds of the gods. In the midst of the chaos, Elena thought of the billions depending on her. Earth was not just a planet, it was humanity itself. And they would fight to protect it, no matter the odds. She activated the secondary weapons, lasers that could cut through the toughest armor. They pierced the godship's shields, leaving streaks of burning metal in their wake. From the godship's bridge, a single voice shouted, trembling with rage. "This cannot be. Humans cannot wield such power. They are insignificant." But actions spoke louder than words. Another human salvo tore through the fleet, and yet another godship fell, its golden hull fracturing into countless shards. The remaining gods faltered, unsure how to respond. Their arrogance, their centuries of dominance, had blinded them to one simple truth: humanity was relentless. Back on the Sentinel, Cade leaned over to Elena. "Captain, they're regrouping. We can't keep them off balance forever." Elena nodded, her jaw tight. "We don't need forever. We need an opening. And I think I see one." She pointed at the tactical display, showing a narrow gap in the Golden Fleet's formation. "If we can penetrate through here, we can strike at their command ship. Take out the leaders, and the rest will scatter." The human ships adjusted their positions, moving like predators closing in on prey. Every movement was calculated, every strike precise. The gods, still reeling from the earlier attacks, failed to recognize the cunning behind these maneuvers. As the Sentinel surged forward, a strange energy field surrounded the lead godship. Its surface shimmered, bending light in impossible ways. The gods' voices rang out, chanting in a language no human had heard before. The energy field pulsed and grew stronger, threatening to engulf the attacking ships. Elena's eyes narrowed. It's a shield, but it's unstable. Focus fire on the nodes. Disrupt it before it locks completely. The human ships obeyed, their combined fire striking at the weak points. The shield flickered and cracked under the onslaught. A powerful explosion rocked the golden ship, sending a shockwave across space. The energy field collapsed, leaving the command ship exposed for the first time. On the bridge, the gods screamed in fury. Their centuries of domination, their godlike status, all crumbling in front of a human crew. They had believed themselves untouchable. They had believed humanity was weak. They had been wrong. Elena looked at her crew, their faces tense but determined. "This is just the beginning," she said. "Keep pushing. Show them the strength of humanity. Show them that no one rules the galaxy without facing a fight." Outside, the Sentinel and its fleet of human ships charged toward the heart of the Golden Armada. Lasers streaked through the void, engines flared, and explosions painted space with fire and metal. The battle for Earth had begun, but humanity was no longer hiding. They had returned with a warship built to challenge gods, and their fight would change the galaxy forever. The gods, once untouchable, now faced a reality they could not comprehend. Humans were not just survivors, they were warriors, ingenious and unyielding. And as the Sentinel closed in for another strike, one thought echoed across the human crew: they would not surrender. Not now, not ever. The battle had reached a terrifying intensity. Stars around the Sol system glimmered against the streaks of energy blasts and debris floating in space. The Golden Fleet, once proud and untouchable, now wavered under the relentless assault of the human warship Sentinel and its fleet. The gods had grown arrogant, believing centuries of domination meant they could face any foe. They were learning how wrong they had been. Captain Elena Vargas tightened her grip on the railing as the Sentinel weaved between incoming fire. "Cade, how long until we can hit the command ship directly?" she asked. 30 seconds, maybe less," he replied. "But the closer we get, the stronger their counterattacks become. They're adapting fast." Elena nodded. "Then we do it fast. Precision over speed. Remember, one wrong move and we could be vaporized." The Golden Fleet tried to respond. Massive beams of energy tore through space, and several human ships exploded in brilliant flashes. But every strike the gods unleashed was met with countermeasures. The Sentinel's advanced shielding absorbed hits, and drones darted through space like deadly insects, delivering plasma warheads straight into weak points of the godships. Inside the lead godship, panic was spreading. The glowing eyes of the deities reflected the flickering lights of their failing systems. "They are not ordinary beings," one whispered. "These humans, they fight like nothing we have ever seen." Another god, taller and brighter than the rest, stepped forward. "Then we must escalate. Activate the dimensional pulse. They will not survive it." A sudden wave of energy erupted from the command ship, distorting space itself. The human fleet rocked violently as their ships were thrown off course. Communications scrambled. Sensors failed. The very laws of physics seemed to twist under the godly power. Elena gritted her teeth. "Hold steady. Compensate for the distortion," she shouted. The crew responded with lightning speed, recalibrating shields and engines. Despite the chaos, the Sentinel held its course. "We need to strike now," Elena said, "before they recover." Cade hesitated. "Captain, that pulse. It's not just dangerous, it's unpredictable. It could destroy us all." Elena's eyes burned with determination. "We knew the risk. Humanity never retreats. Fire the main cannon." The Sentinel unleashed a beam so powerful it lit the void around it. The energy tore through the space distortions and struck the lead godship directly. The golden armor of the command vessel cracked, exposing the strange, pulsating core at its center. The pulse faltered. Inside the godship, alarms blared. "Impossible!" shouted one god. "They should not have survived." Elena watched the displays intently. Cade, secondary volleys. Focus on the core. Destroy it. The human ships fired in perfect synchronization, their combined energy cutting deep into the godship's core. The golden vessel shuddered violently. One by one, its weapons went offline, and its shields collapsed entirely. The remaining gods screamed in disbelief, their arrogance crumbling into fear. From the shadows of space, a new threat emerged. Another fleet appeared, dark, jagged, and far more menacing than the golden ships. They had been waiting, watching the battle from the outskirts, unknown to both humans and gods. Elena caught the readings on her sensors. "Captain, there's another fleet. Bigger. And different." The gods noticed too. Their glowing eyes widened. "No, that cannot be. They were supposed to worship us, not interfere." Elena's mind raced. This was beyond anything humanity had ever faced. Yet the crew moved with calm precision. "We fight the first wave," she said. "Then we adjust. We survive." The first godship exploded, sending golden fragments into the void. The Sentinel and human fleet pressed forward, dodging incoming fire and striking with deadly accuracy. The gods' confidence had vanished, replaced with panic and desperation. Elena's heart pounded as the Sentinel approached the core of the lead ship. She could see the energy pulsing, almost alive, reacting to their attacks. "This is it," she whispered. "One shot, one chance." She gave the order. The main cannon charged, light building until it was almost blinding. "Fire!" she shouted. The beam struck the core directly. The ship trembled, energy exploding outward in a blinding flash. For a moment, all was silent. Then fragments of the golden ship scattered across space, and the command vessel was gone. The gods screamed, their voices echoing through space. Their fleet faltered, disorganized and vulnerable. Humanity had shattered the illusion of divinity. Elena exhaled, her body trembling. She knew this victory was only temporary. The new fleet loomed closer, a shadow over the battlefield. Yet one truth had become undeniable. Humans had proven they could challenge beings that called themselves gods. "Cade," she said, voice firm. "Prepare for the next wave. They will not stop. But neither will we." Outside, the void of space was filled with the wreckage of the Golden Fleet, and the human warships surged forward, engines blazing. Humanity had struck fear into beings who once ruled without challenge. And as the new, unknown fleet approached, one thought resonated among the human crew: survival was not enough. They would fight. They would win. The galaxy had just witnessed the beginning of a legend. Humanity's warship had shattered gods. And now, the next chapter of the fight was about to begin. The unknown fleet loomed closer, jagged ships cutting through the darkness like predators circling their prey. Their presence was unlike anything humanity had encountered before. Sensors struggled to analyze their composition. Their energy signatures were alien, chaotic, and overwhelmingly powerful. Even the golden gods, who had once ruled the galaxy without challenge, faltered at the sight. Captain Elena Vargas stood rigidly on the bridge of the Sentinel, eyes scanning the incoming threat. "They're not like the last fleet," she muttered. "Their energy is alive." Lieutenant Cade shook his head. "Alive? Captain, they're not just ships. They're intelligent. They adapt to attacks instantly. We've never fought anything like this." Elena's jaw tightened. "Then we don't fight like we have before. We fight smart. Use the nebula as cover, spread the fleet, hit them in multiple vectors. Keep them guessing." The human ships scattered, weaving through the remnants of the destroyed Golden Fleet. The new enemies reacted instantly, their jagged forms twisting and rotating, energy beams slicing through space with terrifying speed. One human destroyer was obliterated before it could fire. On the Sentinel, the crew worked frantically. Engineers rerouted power to shields, weapons officers targeted weak points, and Elena coordinated every maneuver. "Hold the line," she shouted. "We may be outnumbered, but we are not outmatched." The alien fleet struck with precision. Energy beams tore through the void, each shot capable of vaporizing a human ship. Yet the humans fought back, using every advantage of technology, strategy, and instinct. The Sentinel's advanced systems allowed it to anticipate attacks and counter with deadly force. Drones darted like lightning, striking at engines and weapon arrays of the alien ships. Suddenly, one of the jagged vessels detached from the main formation and charged directly at the Sentinel. Its energy field pulsed, sending waves of destructive force toward the human warship. "Brace for impact," Elena shouted. The ship rocked violently, alarms blaring as systems failed temporarily. Cade's fingers flew over the controls. "We're taking heavy damage. Shields are holding, but not for long." Elena gritted her teeth. "Fire all countermeasures. Focus on its core." The Sentinel released a barrage of plasma torpedoes, each striking the alien vessel with precision. The impact caused a chain reaction, the ship tearing apart in a shower of sparks and metal. The crew cheered, but there was no time to celebrate. The rest of the fleet was closing in fast. The unknown fleet was intelligent, relentless, and adaptive. Each attack the humans launched was met with an immediate counter. The alien ships changed formation, adjusted their energy fields, and even predicted some of the human maneuvers. The Sentinel's sensors struggled to keep up. Elena realized they needed a new strategy. "We need to make them underestimate us," she said. "They think they are superior. Let's use that against them. Feign a retreat, draw them in closer, then strike hard and fast." Cade frowned. "Risky. If they see through it, we could lose everything." Elena's eyes burned with determination. "Then we take that risk. Humanity never fights half-heartedly." The humans executed the plan flawlessly. They pretended to retreat toward the nebula, leaving openings that seemed like weaknesses. The alien fleet, confident in its superiority, surged forward, closing in on what they thought were vulnerable ships. Then, the humans struck. From hidden positions, energy beams cut through the alien formation, drones exploded in synchronized attacks, and the Sentinel fired its main cannon, tearing through multiple vessels at once. The ambush was devastating. The alien fleet faltered, their intelligence struggling to adapt to the unexpected assault. On the bridge of the largest alien ship, energy readings spiked. Its core pulsed with rage. "They are not ordinary," a voice echoed in the minds of the alien commanders. "They are extraordinary. Adapt. Destroy them." But the humans were already moving. The fleet pressed forward, taking advantage of every mistake, every hesitation. The nebula provided cover, hiding their movements and allowing precision strikes that decimated enemy numbers. Elena watched the battlefield with unwavering focus. "We've shown them we're dangerous. Now, we show them we're unstoppable." The Sentinel surged ahead, engines blazing brighter than ever. Its energy cannons targeted the central command ship of the alien fleet. Plasma torpedoes streaked through space, striking critical nodes. Explosions rocked the alien vessel, and it shuddered violently. For a moment, all seemed lost for the unknown fleet. But then, more ships appeared from the edges of the nebula. Reinforcements, faster and deadlier than the last. Elena's mind raced. They had underestimated the aliens' numbers, and now the humans faced a new challenge. "Cade," she said, her voice steady despite the chaos, "we can't fight them all head-on. We need a decisive strike. Target the command ship. Everything else is secondary. If we take it out, the rest will scatter." The crew nodded, understanding the gravity of the order. This was more than a battle. It was survival. The Sentinel and its fleet focused all energy on one goal: destroy the heart of the alien force before it destroyed them. Outside, space erupted in fire and energy. The humans fought with courage and precision, striking where the aliens were weakest. The unknown fleet had underestimated humanity's ingenuity once again, and now they would face the consequences. Elena's heart pounded. She knew the fight was far from over, but one thing was certain. Humanity had taken the first step toward proving that no force in the galaxy could dominate without facing the wrath of a determined species. And as the Sentinel prepared for its next strike, a single thought resonated among the crew. The gods had fallen, the unknown fleet had arrived, but humanity would endure. And they would fight, until the stars themselves bowed to their determination. The unknown fleet loomed closer, shadows of jagged ships stretching across the void. The humans had survived the first wave, but the reinforcements were faster, deadlier, and more cunning. Every ship in the Sentinel's fleet fired relentlessly, yet the aliens adapted, their movements fluid, almost intelligent beyond comprehension. Captain Elena Vargas stood rigidly on the bridge, her eyes scanning the chaos. "They're trying to surround us," she said. "We can't hold this position forever. Cade, calculate escape vectors while preparing the main assault." Lieutenant Cade's hands moved like lightning across the controls. "Captain, there are too many. Every path we take is monitored. If we retreat, they'll trap us." Elena's gaze hardened. "Then we don't retreat. We break through their command ship. Everything hinges on that. Focus all firepower on their core. Make it impossible for them to respond." Outside, the battle raged like a storm. Human ships darted between jagged alien vessels, lasers cutting across space and explosions turning the void into a deadly fireworks display. Drones zipped past, striking at energy nodes and weapon arrays. The unknown fleet faltered slightly, but only for a moment. Their coordination was relentless. The Sentinel surged forward, its engines blazing with raw power. The ship's main cannon charged, energy building until the hum of the weapon filled the bridge. Elena could feel the vibration under her feet. "This is it," she said softly. "One shot. One chance." The command ship of the unknown fleet pulsed with energy, its surface shifting constantly, almost alive. The crew of the Sentinel held their breath. Every eye on the bridge was fixed on the display. The moment the cannon fired, space itself seemed to freeze. A beam of pure light tore through the void, striking the alien vessel's core. For an instant, nothing happened. Then, the ship shuddered violently, sparks flying across its surface as internal systems failed catastrophically. Alarms rang out across the unknown fleet. "Direct hit," Cade shouted. "Core destabilizing." The aliens screeched in fury, their ships twisting violently to evade further attacks. But the humans were relentless. Secondary volleys and drones followed the main strike, targeting weak points and exploiting every crack in the alien defense. The Sentinel's hull shook violently as energy pulses from nearby explosions hit it. Elena gritted her teeth, holding steady. "Keep pushing. Focus fire on the central node. If we destroy it, the fleet will fall apart." Outside, the command ship of the unknown fleet began to fracture. Massive explosions erupted along its hull, tearing it apart piece by piece. Its energy pulses faltered, and the remaining alien ships faltered in formation. Panic spread through the unknown fleet. For the first time, they were unsure, vulnerable, and terrified. Inside the largest alien vessel, one of their leaders screamed, a sound that echoed in the minds of the fleet. "How is this possible? These humans, they are not ordinary. Adapt. Strike back." But it was too late. The human fleet moved with precision, exploiting the chaos. Every strike was calculated, every movement deliberate. Ships that had seemed invincible moments ago now fell one by one, reduced to burning debris drifting silently through space. Elena's eyes scanned the battlefield. The cost was high. Several human ships had been lost, their crews gone. Yet the advantage had shifted. Humanity had proven that no enemy, no matter how alien or powerful, was invincible. "Cade," Elena said, voice steady despite the tension, "prepare boarding drones. We're going to secure the remains of the command ship. Any intelligence we can recover will help us finish this war." Cade's hands flew across the controls. Drones ready, Captain. Launching now. The drones zipped through the void, entering the fractured command ship. Inside, they scanned for power cores, data caches, and any trace of alien command protocols. The Sentinel held position, shielding the drones from incoming fire and debris. The unknown fleet, now disorganized and fearful, attempted to regroup. But the humans had already struck the decisive blow. Confidence had shifted, and the aliens' morale was crumbling. The balance of power in the battle had changed. Elena watched the monitors as the boarding drones extracted critical data. "We've got it," Cade said, relief in his voice. "They've left something behind, plans, energy signatures, maybe even their weaknesses." Elena allowed herself a brief moment of satisfaction. Humanity had survived impossible odds, shattered a fleet that called themselves gods, and now held the key to understanding their enemies. But she knew the war was not over. The unknown fleet would regroup, the gods would seek revenge, and the galaxy itself trembled under the weight of what had begun. She turned to the crew, her voice calm but firm. "This is our first victory, but not the last. Humanity fights not just to survive, but to prevail. Prepare for the next wave. Rest if you can, but stay ready. We have shown the galaxy our strength. Now, we must finish what we started." Outside, the Sentinel floated among the wreckage of alien and godly ships, engines still burning, weapons charged, and drones retrieving every bit of intelligence. Humanity had struck fear into beings who had ruled without question, and they had survived when survival seemed impossible. The galaxy had changed in a single battle. Humanity's warship had shattered gods, defeated an unknown fleet, and proven that no force, no matter how alien or divine, could underestimate humans. And as the crew of the Sentinel prepared for the next challenge, one truth became clear: they were not just survivors. They were warriors. And the universe would never forget it. The wreckage of the unknown fleet drifted silently through the void, glowing embers marking the destruction that humanity had wrought. The Sentinel hovered amidst the debris, its hull scarred but intact, engines still burning with raw power. Captain Elena Vargas stood on the bridge, her eyes scanning the aftermath. For a moment, it seemed like victory had been achieved. But deep inside, she knew the battle was far from over. "Cade, report," she said, her voice calm but tense. Lieutenant Cade's fingers flew over the console. "We've recovered most of the command ship's intelligence. Energy signatures, fleet formations, weapon schematics, even some of their tactical programming. But there's something odd. Some data appears encrypted. Not in any language we know. It's almost alive, Captain." Elena frowned. "Alive? How is that possible?" "I don't know," Cade admitted. "It's like the ship itself is defending its secrets. The moment we try to access it, it shifts, changes, reacts." Elena's jaw tightened. "Then we need to be careful. We've already provoked a force we barely understand. One wrong move, and this warship could become a trap." As the crew worked on deciphering the alien data, the void around them trembled. Space itself seemed to ripple, as though reality was bending under some immense pressure. Sensors detected an anomaly approaching, a massive, distorted vessel unlike anything they had ever seen. Its hull flickered, half visible, half shimmering into another dimension. "Cade, what the hell is that?" Elena whispered. I don't know," he replied, eyes wide. "It's not following normal physics. It's coming from another reality." Elena's gaze hardened. "Prepare for combat. Shields full, weapons ready. If it moves, we strike first." The distorted ship materialized fully in front of them, and an overwhelming presence filled the void. Energy waves radiated outward, shaking the Sentinel violently. Crew members were thrown off balance, alarms blaring. From the ship came a voice, not in words, but a series of resonating frequencies that vibrated directly in the minds of the human crew. "You dare defy us." Elena staggered, clutching the railing. The voice wasn't just communication, it was a test, probing their fear, their resolve. She gritted her teeth. "We do not fear you," she said aloud, her voice echoing across the bridge. "We fight. Humanity never kneels." The distorted ship pulsed violently, energy spikes racing toward the Sentinel. Cade's hands flew over the controls. "Shields holding, barely. Energy spikes are off the charts." "Divert all power to the shields and main cannon," Elena ordered. "We hit it while it's exposed." The Sentinel's main cannon charged, its energy growing until the ship itself seemed to hum with anticipation. Drones zipped past, attempting to analyze the alien vessel's weak points, but the distorted energy warped their sensors, making every calculation uncertain. Suddenly, the alien ship unleashed a burst of energy so powerful it tore through space, creating shockwaves that destabilized nearby debris. Human ships struggled to maintain formation. The Sentinel rocked violently, systems straining under the pressure. Elena clenched her fists. "We've faced impossible odds before. We survive. We fight. Now, we strike." The main cannon fired, a beam of pure energy piercing through the distorted reality surrounding the alien vessel. Sparks and fragments of alien material scattered across the void. For a moment, it seemed the attack had no effect. Then, cracks appeared across the alien ship's hull, energy flickering wildly. Inside the distorted vessel, the alien entities recoiled. Their confidence, their sense of superiority, wavered for the first time. Humans, unpredictable, dangerous, one resonated in the shared mind of the ship. The humans pressed the attack. Secondary weapons and drones targeted every exposed section, exploiting the weaknesses that the distorted reality could not fully protect. The alien vessel shuddered violently, energy spikes exploding outward in a desperate attempt to push the humans back. Elena's eyes were unyielding. "Keep pressing. We may not understand it completely, but we know one thing: we do not surrender." The battle raged on, energy beams colliding, explosions lighting the void, and the human crew working with a precision and courage that no alien entity had ever anticipated. Humanity had faced gods, unknown fleets, and now a reality-defying vessel, yet their resolve remained unbroken. As the alien ship faltered under the relentless assault, Elena allowed herself a brief glance at the crew. They were battered, exhausted, yet their eyes burned with determination. Humanity's greatest strength was not technology or firepower, it was their spirit. "Cade," Elena said, voice firm, "prepare boarding drones. If we can get inside, we may find out what truly powers this monstrosity." The drones launched, weaving through the turbulent energy, approaching the alien vessel with deadly precision. Inside, unknown systems and strange alien constructs glowed with light and pulsed with energy. Every movement was a gamble, but the humans adapted, as they always did. Outside, the void of space remained chaotic, explosions and energy pulses lighting up the darkness. Humanity had survived impossible odds, shattered gods, defeated an unknown fleet, and now faced an entity beyond understanding. Elena's final thought, as the drones penetrated the alien vessel, was simple and unwavering: humanity would endure. They would fight. And no force, no matter how alien, how godlike, or how incomprehensible, could stop them. The distorted alien vessel trembled, its energy flickering uncontrollably. The void around the Sentinel seemed alive with chaos, shards of alien ships and remnants of the Golden Fleet drifting in a deadly ballet. Captain Elena Vargas stood on the bridge, eyes locked on the shimmering enemy, her jaw tight with determination. This was the moment they had been preparing for. The moment humanity would prove itself beyond any doubt. "Cade," she said, voice calm but resolute, "status on the boarding drones?" "They're inside, Captain," he replied, fingers flying over the controls. "They're analyzing the core structure. It's unlike anything we've seen. Energy readings are off the charts, but we might have a way to destabilize it from within." Elena nodded. "Do it. Everything we've learned, everything we've fought for, comes down to this. Humanity doesn't surrender. Humanity strikes back." Outside, the alien vessel pulsed violently. Waves of energy rippled outward, shaking the Sentinel and the remaining human ships. Every system groaned under the pressure, alarms blaring across the fleet. The distorted ship's voice vibrated directly in the minds of the humans. "You dare challenge us?" Elena's eyes burned. "Yes, we dare." The drones infiltrated the core, sending back visuals of a complex, pulsating energy lattice. The alien ship seemed alive, reacting instantly to any intrusion. Yet, every strike, every disruption the drones caused, weakened the vessel slightly more. Cade guided them with surgical precision. Captain Vargas gave the order. "Synchronize all fleet firepower with the drone assault. Hit the core from every angle. Leave nothing standing." Lasers, plasma torpedoes, and energy beams converged on the vessel. Sparks erupted, hull sections tore apart, and energy pulses flared uncontrollably. The alien ship screamed, not with sound, but with vibrations that rattled the minds of every human aboard the Sentinel. Inside, the boarding drones delivered a concentrated strike on the vessel's central lattice. The structure cracked, glowing filaments snapping like shattered glass. The alien ship wobbled violently, and for the first time, its aura of invincibility faltered. From the bridge of the Sentinel, Elena watched the battle unfold with unwavering focus. All ships, converge on the core. Fire everything. Do not hold back. Humanity fights as one. The human fleet unleashed a relentless barrage. Alien defenses flared, energy shields crackled, and for a moment, it seemed the vessel might stabilize. But the humans were relentless. Every strike was coordinated, every movement precise, and slowly, the impossible began to happen. The alien ship weakened. The entity controlling it howled in their minds. "Impossible, humans, you cannot." Elena's lips curled into a determined smile. "We're human. We do the impossible every day." With one final, synchronized strike from the Sentinel and the fleet, the core shattered. Energy exploded outward in a blinding flash, consuming the vessel. Pieces of the distorted alien ship scattered across the void, fragments burning like dying stars. Silence followed the chaos, the void calm once more, though scarred and littered with the remnants of battle. Elena exhaled, her body trembling from the adrenaline. Around her, the crew wiped sweat from their brows, their faces a mix of exhaustion and triumph. Humanity had done what no one thought possible. They had shattered gods, defeated an unknown fleet, and now destroyed an incomprehensible alien entity. "Cade," Elena said, voice softening, "report. The core is destroyed. Remaining alien ships are retreating. Casualties are high, but we survived. We won." Elena looked out at the void, at the scattered remnants of enemies who had once thought themselves divine. "Not just survived," she said quietly, "we endured. We conquered. Humanity stands." The crew cheered, though muted by the solemnity of the moment. They had faced extinction, stared into the abyss, and emerged victorious. The galaxy itself had witnessed something extraordinary, a human warship challenging gods and unknown forces, and winning. Yet Elena knew the truth. This was only the beginning. The universe was vast, filled with threats that had yet to be discovered. But humanity had proven one unshakable fact. No matter the odds, no matter the enemy, they would fight. And they would prevail. Outside the Sentinel, stars sparkled like jewels scattered across the black canvas of space. Debris of alien and godly vessels drifted, silent monuments to the courage, ingenuity, and indomitable spirit of humans. Captain Elena Vargas allowed herself a small, proud smile. "We return to Earth," she said, voice firm. "The galaxy now knows, humanity is not to be underestimated. We will endure. We will rise. And no one, will ever forget it." The engines of the Sentinel flared, propelling the warship forward through the void. Behind them, the wreckage of gods and alien fleets burned and scattered. Ahead lay the path home, to Earth, to humanity's next chapter. The galaxy had changed forever, and humanity had written its legend across the stars. And in the hearts of all those who witnessed the battle, one truth remained: humanity was unstoppable.